Hello there, welcome back to another Donger deck discussion with your host, Seth Holocron from the Dongers of Runeterra. Hope you're all keeping very well, and if you're enjoying our videos, please be aware that liking and subscribing makes us more attractive to Facebook, which means you get to see our videos even better, and if you subscribe, it goes straight into your inbox every single day, because we release at least one video every single day anyway, so saves you even having to look for it. Today's deck is going to be discussing whether a championless deck can actually be very good. In previous videos, you will see budget decks that I have made. Most of them are champless, but I've decided this time to try and make a deck that is, well, pretty damn decent across the board. And I've went into Bilgewater and Shadow Isles to try and get things organized. And here is my champless death deck. Obviously, we are not going to be running an awful lot of spells. It's pretty much an aggro undying, but with really good things from Bilgewater in there. So let's start, as we always do, from the top. We have 11 spells, 29 units, and 0 champions, because we don't need them. This deck just doesn't need any champions at all, and it's very solid. So we've taken the basis deck from most Shadow Isles things and then made it better with good units from Bilgewater. So here we go. We start with Ravenous Butcher. To play me, kill an ally, which is perfect over the Cursed Keeper, as you get the 4/3 Escaped Abomination. If you can do that and you're attacking on evens, you're hitting for 7 damage. That's pretty damn decent, especially against an awful lot of the slower Targon decks that really aren't playing anything until round 3. To put them down to 13 is fantastic. Both of those are obviously 3s of. Warden's Prey. At last breath, create in hand another last breath follower. So last breath is when it explodes, dies, pops, is vamos, kaput. You get another one that costs 3 or less. And the amount of things that are really good costing 3 or less in this game with last breath are fantastic. So you want him to die, really, and try and get something else that's even better when it dies at the end. And I've got my first spell from Bilgewater. So this is Ye Been Warned. Yar. So you give an enemy vulnerable this round, and if it dies, you draw 1. Don't misplay this. Don't use it against something that can't die. So it's a slow spell. You can take your time with it. Do it against something that has 1, but more specifically, don't do it if your guy can, like, Elixir of Iron it, if he can Transfusion to keep it alive. The vulnerable is okay as long as you know that you can kill it with a bigger unit that's going to go past, say, the +2 health. So if you can hit it with like a 4 power thing to kill it, you get to draw a card. That is really good, but not enough to run as a 3 of. So that's our first spell. Glimpse Beyond, we're back into Shadow Isles, kill an ally to draw 2. And this is one of the most critical cards in the deck because we are running the Undying, and we'll get to the Undying in a second, but if you've ever played with the Undying, being able to kill it and then it comes back out, it literally does not die, and then comes back 1/1 each time. And then we went for the Hired Gun, that in my opinion is genuinely one of the very best 2-drops in the game. She is just fantastic. I mean, when you see the art, the full art on this, look at this. You know, will this person ever be in the game? Will this person ever be in the game? Or is that... Who knows? Who's this? Is that the Yordle Grifter? I would say it is. But this fine, lovely lady with her massive gun literally just makes people vulnerable. Which is excellent because it's the strongest one. If you can put it down, you're up against something like Teemo or an Elusive. You just pull it down. You don't need a challenger. Thank you so much. And you are ruined. Even very good and late game to hit up with champions when you've got your own big thing to take it off the board with. So that's the first 6 right there. And then we're into one of my favorite 2-cost spells. This is brand new. This was given to Shadow Isles as part of the expansion for the Mountain Targon. Pick a follower from the top 4 cards in your deck, draw it, shuffle the rest into your deck, and then create an ephemeral copy in hand. So you get 2 cards for 2 mana. One is ephemeral, which is brilliant because then you can drop it. So, for instance, if you were to get the Ethereal Remitter, where you kill an ally to summon a random follower that costs 2 or more if you've got the board space, and then you can drop something like the Ravenous Butcher onto it to keep it alive, and you still get the other Remitter to do exactly the same thing next round, which is absolutely fantastico. Stalking Shadows should be, I would probably say, a 3 of in most Shadow Wilds decks. And then we get the Undying. And this guy is just, look at that. You know, obviously he has been taking way too many things of radiation sickness. But when he dies, revive me at the next round start and grant me 1/1 each time I've died. The ideal person to glimpse beyond, because you're not killing. You kill it, but you're not really killing it, and you get to draw 2 cards. Draw 2, not 1, 2. Amazing. Absolutely amazing, especially if your hand gets a little bricked, which this deck can do a little. A little, but not very often. So then we've got Chronicler of Ruin and the Ethereal Remitter. So I genuinely think this is a hilarious thing. If, for instance, you don't have the Ravenous Butcher and you have a Cursed Keeper that has not yet died, by dropping the Chronicler of Ruin on top of him, you then kill it to make it into the 4/3, but then you revive the 1/1 again. And then you could drop the Butcher on top of it for free, making it another 4/3. And all of a sudden, your board is becoming very, very, very threatening indeed. Obviously, the Undying, the Chronicle of Ruin, and the Ethereal Remitter, that is superb. Because if you kill the Undying, you're going to get a random follower that costs 5. Now that is complete madness. You don't know what you're going to get, but you know it costs at least 5 if you do the 3. If you do the 4, then you're getting something for 4. If you Rakill Jack the Winner, which is the next card in the deck, you're now getting something for 7. Unbelievable. Just phenomenally good mana efficiency in here. And I'm really beginning to like Jack the Winner, who was one of the first cards I put into the deck, along with the Chronicle of Ruin and the Undying, just to try and start building this up. And again, yes, this is one of the cards from Bilgewater. Now, his art is just, that boy just looked cool. That boy just looked cool deep down in his hunkers, his little lovely top hat, like he's a Dickensian trooper. Don't forget, you know, this is the main reason why you want to play him. You know, there's a poor geezer there, looking you know, a little strange. They're all sort of, you know, zombie sharks. But to do 2 to the enemy Nexus Indian ally is fantastic, because you can do it into the Undyings, you can do it into the Cursed Keepers, you can do it into anything. You can do it into Jack, you can do it into the Remitter, you can do it into the Chronicler, anything. But especially if it comes back, again, hitting the Undying, which is the key card in this deck, you want at least 1 Undying in your opening hand. No, it can't block. I can hear you going, it can't block. Doesn't matter, because by round 5 or 6, when he's running out and doing 6, that is becoming a problem, because you can't really do anything, because if you do anything to it, it's going to come back as a 7. So, not great. Now, to keep things fair, I've went for a card that hasn't seen an awful lot of usage in the meta for quite some time, and I'm actually running 2 of them, and it's Withering Wail. Withering Wail is a phenomenally good card against a lot of decks. So you're either very, very slow and waiting for big units, so this is the reason why it's only a 2 of and not 3. But the fact that you can actually smash something here and deal 1 to all enemies and heal your Nexus 3 is certainly worth 2 cards in any deck running Shadow Isles, and especially in something that we are using things that we can't defend very well, especially if we've got a couple of Undyings on the board. We become very, very acutely aware of the danger of things like Swijanis and Enraged Yetis and all that sort of stuff. But if you're playing against smaller things like Elusives, early Demacia things, after a while they will get damaged. Once they get damaged, this is when you want to drop this. We have an Atrocity because we've got really, really large units still to come. Now, we are genuinely hoping that we will be able to get the Jack the Winner, to be able to do the deal the two to the Nexus, to hit up Riptide Rex, who is our most important second. Well, I'd say he's pretty much our second win condition. You do need to plunder him to get his cannon barrage. The only way we're going to plunder him is if we get a Jack the Winner. We have nothing else in here that does any damage whatsoever to the enemy Nexus, which is why we're only running 2 of. It's also a flex spot. If I was going to change anything, I'd probably maybe take out. Like, see, here's the thing. I don't want to take anything out of this. Like, anything out of this at all. I could take out the Withering Whales because we have a couple of 5s here, and we could put in something like Warning Shot instead of Riptide to enable Riptide Rex more. That is something to think about. But look at these things here. There's a 6-5. There's a 7-4. There's a 4-5. There's a 5-6. So pretty much when you get down to about 4-3, the Atrocity will win you the game. Essentially, that will win you the game. Citrus Courier is a fantastic card. You know, there he is with all his little mandarins and looking incredibly, hello, you will take 3 oranges. Okay, you're much bigger than me with your big belly. I'll certainly take that. But the fact that when you plunder, again, we're needing to plunder, which is why Withering Whale is in there as well, because it might get enough room for you to actually do something. And then Sheriff Lafayette Rose, the lovely lady herself. Yeah, everything is vulnerable. Everything. And then Riptide Rex as the 2. So that is the deck. As I'm saying, as I'm actually going through this, I may genuinely remove Withering Whale for this. I may replace it with this because it gives me something else. Because the only thing that I have got in here, because this is my first, well, that's actually my second or third draft, to be honest, but we are struggling to hit the plunders. So I am going to take these 2 off, and I'm going to put 2 warning shots in. And I think, as long as we get the Jack the Winner, because we've got Ye Been Warned, warning shots, all that sort of stuff for Riptide Rex and Citrus Courier, because then you heal all your allies and your Nexus 3, and then Rally is a fantastic thing. So there we go. That is actually the deck. I think, in general, that has probably made a much better sense. We will clip that to the deck, and we will put that in the pinned comments along with all our social medias, which you will find under this video. My name is Sith Holocron. Thank you very much for watching our Championless Death video. There's a lot of really good cards in there, and it's very fun to play. Now adding those warning shots should be even better again. Until the next time, thanks for watching. Dongers out.